journey. Do you have questions? When I will be? How long? Where will my life change? Check yourself. Is your life changing or not? Are you moving into calmness or not? Why are you in a hurry? When I will be, do you have that question? I know that. How long? Where? So the real self is here and now. Why you are asking a question where? That comes from ignorance. How long? You are already there. Why are you asking the question, how long? Are you not here? Think of this. We are going deeper in every session. Where it is within myself. It is already there. I don't have any money in the bank account and I have to bring the money from outside and put it in the bank. It is not that the real self should be brought from outside and put it in and I have a tent. Where it is? How long? When the mind is asking these questions, you build a very subtle ego that wails, that stops. So these questions, when they come, you should know what to do. Don't you see that you are gradually and progressively moving into calmness, peace? And sometime when the mind challenges you, you remember the principle and the mind goes into calmness. You're making a journey. So what happens? You continue the journey one day, at any time, in any activity, with anyone. You discover that, oh, I'm already there. You find that you are a new person. You will discover, you will enjoy and experience that you have become global, cosmic, because consciousness is cosmic. So the master guide says, I'm not saying anything, I'm just teaching from these teachers, So I am free because I am teaching from the teachings. So you just, the message is just continue the sadhana. Aspire to live in the real self before, during, and after every action. So do you remember the goal are twofold? One goal is to end of suffering. What is suffering? Insecurity, dissatisfaction, unhappiness. Now add everything in the word insecurity, fear of death, unnecessary. So I don't know what is death and I have a fear of death. Terry? So you see, it includes anxiety, agitation, anger, duality, conflict. Second goal is the realization that peace, happiness, love, and wisdom are my essential nature. I am all of them. Essential nature, do you remember? Sweetness of a sugar, Now, who remembers you told us a lot of principles? I'm busy. So if you are busy, then why you are in a session? And you are busy for what? You are busy to remove the insecurity, dissatisfaction, unhappiness. You have tried days, weeks, months, years, no result. Tell the mind, don't do that. So just think in that way. There was a dialogue between the real self and the mind. Pay attention. Mind says, let me help you become free from insecurity, fear, and anxiety. And the real self says, what the heck, I'm ever free. I'm ever pure. I'm beyond security and insecurity. I'm always secure. Mind says, I will do whatever you want me to do. Then the real self says, do one thing, is do nothing. I have seen you. You have done everything since birth and nothing happened. It's a dialogue between mind and the real self. Whose mind? My mind. My mind doesn't control you. It's your mind. Just you have to become aware. It only demands that level of awareness. Even though you are expressing through the mind, so one mind becomes the real self and one mind is the current state of the mind. Continue the dialogue between the mind one acting as a real self, mind two, it's already making us crazy. It's all a matter of awareness. Nothing else is required. So in order to settle this knowledge in the mind, we need to understand what is not real self. So that, the mind 1 and 2 can continue the dialogue. So, we are none of the three bodies. We are not the 5 sheet we have been discussing together. So means the real self is beyond the neighbor on this side, beyond that neighbor on that side, beyond the neighbor on the back and in the front. So when the mind consciously understands and lives in that state of awareness that knows I am not the three bodies, I am not the 5 sheet, this mind can reach to the state of emptiness here and now. It is not required that you need to continue it for so long. So you experience that state of emptiness and that emptiness continues. You don't make an effort. It continues because you have discovered that when I am none of the three bodies, when I am not the 5 sheet, then mind, why you are running? Why you are crazy? Why you are so busy? Getting it? Say yes. Even if you don't get it. No problem. Slowly it happens. So when we are none of these 5 sheet or the 3 bodies, they are the object. It is seen to me. It is experienced. It is an object of knowledge. it is subject to change, and what is subject to change has a birth and death. I do not have a birth and death. Anything that is subject to change by the unconscious operation of the nature, I'm not that. How simple? Continue the dialogue between the real self and the pseudo or the false self that claims mind forces us to claim that I am the three bodies, I am the five sheath. That causes the ignorance in the mind, and that leads to insecurity, dissatisfaction, unhappiness. Three words I'm using, so in which you can add fear, anxiety, duality, conflict, fully busy. Long list. So I want to continue talking. Do you like my talking? Very good. So even if you don't like, now you have attended the session. It is an etiquette that you should continue. You see how mind catches you. It is your mind is saying. I'm not saying anything. Where is the smile, Terry? Yes, that is good. So this is a story from one of the great texts. It's a dialogue between the father and the son. You see, in Eastern wisdom, the age, gender, relationship do not matter. Sometime we have seen that your wife can become your guru. Your husband can become your guru. Your son can become your guru. Your friend can become your guru. When they become your guru, when you are a seeker. If you are not a seeker, nothing happens. Anyhow, so the son's name is Bhrigu, and the master, enlightened master, was Varun. It's a very interesting story that gives you an understanding of these five sheaths. Briefly, because if I go on talking on five sheaths, it will take a year, so I'm bringing an end to it. Why I'm bringing an end? Because you feel bored. Every time you are talking of five sheaths. Are you not feeling bored? Oh, that's brandy, only brandy said no. You see that? Well, these sessions are, just pick up the main principles, talk about it, and then you contemplate and reflect so that we progress. So the Bhrigu was a student, son, and the father was enlightened, father was Varun. So, because the conversation of enlightenment and awakening and peace and happiness used to take place in his family, so son said, what is the heck, how can I get it? So, it's very difficult for the father to teach the son. Because as the son grows, they say, oh, dad, you belong to the old school. So father sent him to another master, and he spent 10 years, learnt everything intellectually, returned, and the father asked, what is the ultimate truth in you? Pay attention. What is the ultimate truth in you? So even after learning for 10 years, the son thought for some time and said, I'm sorry, Dad. There is only one word difference between dad and dead. So anyhow, so the son thought of some time and said, I'm sorry, Dad, my guru never taught me that what is the ultimate truth in me. I heard about the real self, but I don't know. Father said, you wasted 10 years if you are unable to answer what is the real self. Ashok? Ah, yes. Your education is not complete at all. Go back. Do austerity. And what is that austerity? 2LCRP, listening and learning, contemplation, reflection, practice. So the son agreed and he went into the Himalayas and doing the austerity into the forest. But he was following because now he retrieved what he has heard and what he has learned. What he has learned. He returned after a year and said, look at Dad, I got it. That is what happens out of excitement, the children say, I got it, I'm more intelligent than you. Normally it happens in every family. In the young age, later on when, Father, my physical body is the ultimate truth. The first sheet, this Annamai. If the physical body, this body is working fine, anything and everything is possible. I can make a six-pack, I can show the people that how smart I am. I will not be able to do anything with the sick body. It's a fact. The father is highly disappointed. Dad is highly disappointed with the answer and shown his frustration. Do you see the journey of a life of a seeker? The son Bhragu was not frustrated. He said, oh, is that so? I didn't find it. Let me go back. Let me go back and contemplate and reflect. Let me do my meditation practice. Now he realized that he is not the first sheet, the outermost first sheet. So he started observing that any change in the body happens due to the energy, and that energy is prana. I cannot speak because speech, energy, sound, energy, physical energy, you see that? You find where there is a change, there is energy. Even your listening energy, speech energy, movement energy. We even say that prana is present in the gravitational force. That is why it is a force. Prana is present in the electrical energy. So he returned and he said, Dad, not dead. Dad, I was completely wrong. What can I do with only a physical body? I need a life in it. Pay attention. I need a fuel in it. So as a seeker, his mind is going inside. There has to be the flow of the prana, the life energy in all these channels of the body. It is the pranamaya kosha, the energy sheet, which is important. Father said, I don't feel you can ever achieve that. He is still frustrated. Son, go back. Why he said go back? Energy itself is not conscious. Who directs that energy? Did you understand? Who directs? You have all the switch and plugs, unless you push it on, then only I see the light. So there must be someone consciously doing it, taking over the prana. What is the ultimate truth? That was the question asked. Frustrated, he went back again. What is the goal of a seeker? You are a seeker, you have to check yourself. Yes, we all are seekers. So he returned again after a year or a couple of years. Dad, I was wrong. It is neither the physical body, it is neither the energy body that is important. It is the proper mental status that I always need. It is the mind that desires. It is the mind that propels the energy to move, to manifest in the body. You see, my hands, my eyes, you're listening, everything, because of that mind. So he said, I have to be mentally fit. This is what, we are doing it in the modern life. My mind should be trained. I should be a sane person. It is the mental sheath. And Dad was disappointed again. Son, it's a time you bring me the right answer now. Don't you think you are disappointing me? Once again the son went. It's a symbolic, he went to the forest, means listening, learning, contemplation, reflection, and practice. We don't have enough forest left even in US or India, where you can go and do the planning. A lot of climate change, etc. So that forest is symbolic. Himalayan is symbolic. Buddha never went to the Himalayas. So, son said, return again to the so-called the forest. Did all the contemplation and practice. So he realized that mind constantly has millions of thoughts. If some agency or power picks up a particular thought, that triggers me to act. What is that? Intellect, intellectual sheath, I-ness. He returned again. You are all enlightened, you know the answer. Fourth sheath, intellectual sheath. I must have the knowledge. Son said to Dad, I must have the knowledge. It is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the intellectual sheath. Am I right, my dear Dad? Sometimes there is a slip of tongue, Dad becomes dead. So Bhragu, the son, no. Father said no. It's highly disappointing to have wrong answers after giving you 4 chances, my child. Forget it. The answer might come your way one day. What I'm saying, answer might come your way one day. Just wait for it. Son said, no, Father, give me one last chance. I want the answer as much as you want. See the intensity of a seeker. We get unnecessarily upset. Life of a seeker is totally different. So now the son went back to the forest. He spent 10 years. I've already told you, going to the forest means what? The father had to wait for a long time, 1 year, 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year. After all, he is a father. He was, oh, my son is taking too much of time than the father ever expected. He went to the forest, found the son is sitting like a Buddha. So father had a huge mixture of emotions. He was overjoyed, surprised. You see, you need not to ask whether I found real self. He was overjoyed, surprised, pleased, proud, lost, all at the same time. He saw his son sitting in lotus pose, absorbed into meditation. He could find that calmness oozing out from his face. There are 70 indications. One of the major indications that if you close you are in a meditation and your eyeballs are not moving, it is withdrawn inside. You may try, it will not happen. It only happens to the seeker. So sometime I check those things, going closely to my monitor. So he checked it. He had tears in his eyes. What he did? He bowed down to his own son with a complete reverence and returned back home. He has nothing to ask, son, go back home. Because he is also awakened. Father was awakened, so the son is awakened. That is the journey of the self-discovery. That is why I said, let me add one more point today. So if the mind is asking why we are ignorant, so the answer comes that individual causal body is tiny and a fraction of the entire illusion, which is known as Maya. It contains a tiny bit of knowledge, not all the knowledge. It has a mixture. It is incomplete knowledge of the self. And that is what we are learning, to move from the incomplete knowledge to the complete knowledge. From avidya to vidya, from ignorance to wisdom. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Ignorance means I have a limited perception of the things, people in the world outside and inside me. So where lies the problem? The problem is locus of the problem, locus of ignorance is the mind. So where we have to find the solution? Same locus. Are you getting it? Say yes. If you want to know the physics, if you want to know about physics, so locus is the knowledge of physics. You want to know the physics and you are studying chemistry, it will not work. Do you see that? You want to drive a car and you started learning how to operate the phone. It will not work. So what is the locus? Locus of ignorance, not knowing my real self, is the mind. So where I have to put the knowledge of the real self to get rid of the ignorance. That is why we are learning. We are not the three bodies. We are not the 5 sheaths like the sun. I'm not disappointed. No, why should I be disappointed? You should be disappointed. And let your disappointment raise the level of your awareness put you to the commitment and sincerity to find the real self. Am I right? Yes. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed, the body is steady, and the mind is facing within. Check. Body is steady. Mind is looking within. Hand you see, like the sun who was totally absorbed, and he got the right knowledge of the body, but he got the wrong knowledge that he is not the body. He claimed that he is the body after getting everything about the physical body, physical sheath, the first sheath. That is the understanding. Become aware of the body. Become aware of the body. And move the mind on the entire body, maybe. Experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Become aware of the body as the part of the physical universe. Material, we have discussed. The body is not separate from the matter, the material universe. This body is nourished by all the matter, chemicals, carbs, protein, hydrogen, fat, minerals, enzymes, you name anything, and you will discover the matter. The body is sustained by the same matter. When dead, this body becomes the food for other bodies. When we recognize that cycle, the mind says naturally, I am not the body. I am not the body. Body belongs to me. That is okay. Car belongs to me, house belongs to me, clothes belongs to me, computer belongs to me. That is okay. So what is the point of awareness? That I am not this physical sheath. I am not this physical sheath. like the sun, when we understand it clearly. So what I did, I introduced here to intensify, if I say, your awareness. There's another way to say that. So what I said, oh, don't worry. First look at the breath and look at the breath and start breathing. Quick, short, gentle breath, dropping Om Shanti to become aware of the third mental sheet and the second sheet. So just start breathing, quick, short, gentle breath. Enjoy that breathing with eyes open or closed, whatever you feel. And dropping Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, you are dropping with a feeling and emotion, one aspect. So mind number one says, oh, it is so calming. Mind number two says, I'm breathing quick and fast. Mind number three says, body is steady. Oh, are there three levels, three layers? Or am I one? So it opens your mind to the higher level of awareness. That is why we are doing it. Continue. You're just doing quick, short, gentle breathing Om Shanti in the state of steadiness in the body, but at the same time, the contemplation is there. And the mind says, no, there are three layers of my existence. One is doing so Om Shanti calmly, one is fast movement, and the third is just remain steady. I cannot be three. I am none of them. I am none of them. Continue. And now stop this. Do nothing. Be aware of your breathing. The breath is going in and out. Feel the sensation in and around the head and inside. It is that very feeling of the sensation or a movement is the functioning of this prana. And just check. Sometimes you feel those sensations inside the head, and then that mind goes to the toes and into the belly. And oh, it is the life energy working. Are you listening to me? Yes. This is the work of the mind through the sense organs. Are you recognizing? Modern psychology says cognition. I say recognition is the better word to make it easy. You recognize the words, you hear, you feel, sense of touch. It is all the functioning of the mind. The mind that was doing Om Shanti. You're simply witnessing, as if you're watching a movie. Oh, the physical, yes, then energy body, and now it's a mental body. And then again I introduce here what I said, you can now understand easily. Nyasa. Start breathing deep, silent, and slow. In the state of stillness in the body is not doing anything. Prana is doing, so the mind, and now the fourth concept coming, that intellectual sheath, because intellect has to maintain its rhythm. So as you inhale, move the mind from the top of the head to the tailbone, singing mentally Om Shanti. Oh, this is what you're saying? Yes. And as you exhale, move the mind from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Om Shanti. You are checking that something is different from the mind, because mind coins the thought. It has millions of the thoughts, but who picks up only one thought to sing Om Shanti, to breathe deep, silent, and slow, to maintain an awareness and stillness in the body? That is the fourth sheet. Oh, it has other functions also. We will talk about it. But just to make the practice clear to you, that is why I am customizing. And leave this nyasa. Your contemplation and reflection continues. Just become aware of the value system. Just become aware of the decision you took to attend this session. That is intellectual sheet. Be aware of your belief and convictions. That is your intellect, your judgment of right and wrong. Every individual intellect has its value system, belief, and conviction. Every intellect. But this intellect is a part of universe of intellects. That is one. And that belongs to the nature. That is why we say sometimes how intelligent the nature is. It has nothing to do with me. I am none of them. We are working what is not real self. Let us start the nyasa again in the spine. Deep silence, slow breathing. Dropping the mind with Om Shanti. You see all the 5 layers are present in the nyasa. The body is steady. Then the second level, deep silence, slow breathing. Third level, the mind is looking into the space. Whose mind? The mind of his son, who said, no, I will go back again and find it out. So why I refer the space to the mind, the son never asked, never raised any doubt or question to his father. He did not knew it. The aspiration of a seeker that, how come I don't know? I have to know it. Continue the nyasa again. And stop this. Reflection. Become aware of your life situations you have gone through. Every situation in our life is the result of the past decisions made or the impressions present, which I do not have any control. So every individual has his or her own situations. I do not know from where it comes. You do not know what makes you attend the session with this beer guy. We give a rough example, rough interpretation. So universe is nothing but, from our perspective, is a movement of situation, event, condition. The will of the entire universe manifests and reflects in the will of each individual. And it belongs to the nature. It has nothing to do with me. So you are breaking the barrier of being an individual to transition into a universal consciousness. There is no individuality from the whole at any level. Only the whole truly exists. Individuality is an illusion at all levels. There is one whole nature. And that is what we do it symbolically by a triangle. Look at the triangle in front of you already know, inside your forehead or the heart. Oh, and move the mind on the triangle. Then go to the center. There you sing that mind with extraordinary awareness sings going deep inside the heart. Then it perceives as if the mind seems to stop. Mind never stops. When we experience some mind seems to stop, I have a glimpse of the real self. The moment you see the mind seems to stop, do you ask the mind to do anything? No, be there. Just be there. The moment you are saying Om Shanti, you are vigilant, you are aware. If the mind seems to stop, it's okay. You need not to say Om Shanti, you need not to move your mind on the triangle. But The mind may create an imagination, or mind may realize. I told you, we discussed. Locus of ignorance is the mind. Solution should be the same locus. Leave this also. You are in a state of doing nothing. Why you are in a state of doing nothing? I told you that Eastern wisdom answers every question that you raise. You have broken the illusion of individuality. It is all one nature. And that nature is the five sheath. I am just a witness. I am different from all these. You see one more point I just came to my mind, that we break the illusion that I'm an individual. What happens? The explosion takes place in the mind. What is that explosion? That I'm none of these five sheaths. That only claims that I'm an individual. But fact is, I'm unaffected by all of them. I'm a pure consciousness. And all these exist in this pure consciousness. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. As usual, we'll share our experiences once we return. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the hands. First, know your experience, gather those thoughts, how you're going to share, and then bring the hands down. How are you, Terry?
Oh boy, what can I say? It was very different from I just did what I could do.
Yes.
I was working a lot to maintain awareness that, I was having such a strong negative feeling in the body of tightness and pulling in the inside of the body, so I just tried to maintain my awareness of the five sheaths, and I realized that I was working a lot in the energy and the intellectual sheath.
Yeah.
To just maintain the intention.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I didn't do it. I couldn't do the Nyasa or the fast breathing, but I did things what I could do at different points. I allowed the body to do what it wanted, and I removed my thought away from that.
Yeah.
And I visualized the triangle. I did the big circle with my eyes. I resisted the temptation to try to move.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't move. And
so that's a sign of progress.
Yeah, and I did a big giant triangle with my eyes open.
Yeah.
Because they would stay shut. And I didn't get the mind to stop, but I kept pulling it away from the problem.
And you remained, or mostly you remain, steadiness is there in the body.
I resisted anger, panic, and and struggle, and I focused on visualizing the power of the universal self.
Yeah.
To eradicate the problem.
Yes, now I can see. I will pick up one more session with reference to the 5 sheets, and it is explained beautifully, poetically in the next session. Beautiful. How are you, Stephen?
I'm very good. I was completely absorbed into the meditation, into the space. I didn't have a thought. There was nothing. It was just pure nothingness, from the start of the fast breathing straight through to where the only time that something triggered in me was when you started chanting Om Shanti. And I said, oh, wow, this is over.
Yeah.
But I felt this desire that I didn't want it to be over, but then I let go of all that. So thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful state and beautiful experience. Yes. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. I started the session today with a lot of stress, and it just seemed to have melted away after the Nyas, and I just had a feeling of floating and calmness.
Yeah, sense of floating is a deeper experience. We should also always understand, with all the 3 people sharing their experiences, you all discussed in a different ways, but it points that to one thing. When we break that sense of individuality, that consciousness is already all pervading. I can witness that. So the floating sensation, and the intention by the Terry and sense of emptiness, they point out the same thing. How are you, Brandy?
I'm fine, thank you. My meditation was totally absorbed today. I feel peaceful and relaxed.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. How are you, Sam?
Mine as well. Very deep, very absorbed, and peaceful.
Peaceful. Check again. You have to. I introduced one common point. That is the most important, but I spoke a little during the practice. If you start exploring where is an individual in you, you will not find. And that will help you transcend the mind. How are you, Rakesh?
Thank you, sir. So in the beginning, I could see myself very different away from the body, which was steady, the breath which was going pass round, and also the mind which was saying Om Shanti. All these things were away from me. I was watching them.
Good.
And this continued for the whole time. At the end, when the triangle, I went very deep inside. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Hello.
Hear. Yes, I hear you.
Hello.
Go ahead. I hear you.
So at the end, okay. So it's taking. At the end, when I was very deep in the triangle inside, I felt I'm just moving away, very far off from the world. The whole the world which I was looking at. So I was going away, very, very far off, and moving away from that. That is what I had today.
Yeah, that is very good. That is another way to understand. The practice is only one, but I am picking up the last point. When your mind knows experiences as if you are going too far, away and away from, fact is, you are going too far from the 5 sheet. So that also helps us. That practice of meditation is exclusive, and it is known as the Rupa Dhyan in our tradition. So meditation is only one, but how every participant experiences that makes the difference. So how are you, Vaibhav? Oh, we have a son and father. Okay.
Sir, I'm good, sir. It was very peaceful and calming.
Yeah, very good. Peaceful and calming. Why should I come in between both of you, son and father? Do the rest. How are you, Anesthesia?
Thank you. I'm fine. It was so deep and timeless, and I've lost myself in time and space. It's like having a room in the lab with Zoom, and you see that picture becomes everything, something like that. You get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you.
Beautiful. You see that what you majority or everyone has experienced the sharing, totally absorbed. means that I lose that sense of individuality. Sense of individuality creates a person in us which is known as ego. We'll understand that. So, who are left? Sangeeta, how are you? Sangeeta and Ashok are left, yeah.
सर बहुत अच्छा था, बहुत पीसफुल था सर, एकदम एब्जॉर्ब.
Very peaceful, very calming, very good. अरे तुम कहाँ भाग जाते हो? चलो अशोक.
हाँ सर, very peaceful and there is no stress at all. Progressing.
No stress. Very peaceful, very good. So understand the last point I'm stressing again. When the mind is pure, when we reflect, when the mind lives within, then what happens? The mind loses that sense of individuality. I'll talk sometime later, but when you lose that sense of individuality, you know how to make an atom bomb? There are two processes. Why you're talking of atom bomb? I remember Putin. No, it's not just giving an example. So there is a diffusion process and there is a fission process in making an atom bomb. So in the fission process, the atoms break up. That breaking up is losing the sense of individuality. That is why I use the atom bomb. I have no intention of talking about those stuff. So what happens? You lose the sense of individuality inside and you transcend the ego, and there you find the real self. That is why I used. That is all for today. Thank you. Do this practice and we will meet again. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you, sir.
Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for tolerating me. You guys are so good, Those who tolerate me are always good, Good.